I've been playing a lot of the Not So Berry challenge recently, and basically it's a 10 generation legacy challenge where each generation is a different color theme. I'm currently on the orange generation, and this sim is supposed to be a criminal that loves baking. And one of the rules is that you have to live in a needs TLC apartment for a really long time. Needs TLC is one of those lot traits that's stuck on certain apartments in city living. It's honestly kind of a challenge to live in these because it basically means your apartment sucks. It's like rat infested, stuff breaks all the time, you've got gas leaks and stuff going on. Luckily though, one of my favorite apartments in the whole game has that lot trait, so I think today I want to try and renovate that apartment and get it all set up for this orange generation of the Not So Berry challenge. Before we get started with the build though, I want to tell you a little bit about our sponsor today, Project Makeover. This is a really fun game where you give your clients a huge makeover, complete from like their outfits to their makeup and even their living space. You can choose from a huge collection of outfits and makeup and even furniture to give them the perfect makeover. In the game, you solve some pretty addictive match 3 puzzles to earn coins that you use to work on the makeovers. And I love this aspect of the game because I love this kind of puzzle, but also just in general, the whole makeover thing, in particular, the bedroom makeovers, is right up my alley. You can also create and stylize your own avatar and share and visit friends. And I know this game is gonna appeal to a lot of you as well. So if you're interested in checking out Project Makeover, you can click on my link down below. And if you use that link in my description box, you'll get 300 gems and 100 coins. This game is pretty fun and I think you're gonna like it. So thank you again to Project Makeover for sponsoring today's video. The apartment that I'm talking about is this 19 Culpeper House one in the Spice District. It's the one that has the balcony, so hopefully it's kind of easy to find. The balcony is the biggest selling point of this entire apartment for me though, because I really like having at least a little bit of outdoor space, especially for this particular generation of this challenge, because we have quite a few interesting needs for this house. So kind of on our list here of necessities, number one, the sim's a baker, right? So I really would like to have a cupcake machine in this building. If you haven't seen it before, there's this like cupcake factory giant cupcake machine item and you can use it to bake and stuff, and I really wanted to have that so I could use that to work on the baking skill. It's just hard to know where to put that thing because it's so enormous. Like, it doesn't really even fit in the kitchen or anything, so I ended up putting it out on that balcony. We also are gonna have twins, so we need a bedroom that's got enough space for 2 babies. And then of course, perhaps the biggest requirement, the most alarming requirement, is that this is for the orange generation of the Not So Berry challenge. And so literally everything is going to be orange. Now I realize that this is sort of jarring to look at. I think that right now you might be looking at this and thinking, oh no, this is gonna be a lot. And I just want to warn you that it's gonna get worse before it gets better. It is a lot. That is a good way of describing this apartment, is just a lot. But it's kind of fun. This is sort of the beauty of this challenge where you don't really have to do this part. Like, obviously each generation has a color theme, so obviously each generation does have a color theme. You don't have to like go all out and dress your sim in all orange and make your house all orange. I just think it's kind of fun to do that in this challenge, especially with some of these colors like orange that I never use in my builds. I have never built an entirely orange apartment before, and it's kind of cool because it makes me like dig around in build mode and find stuff that I've never used. I feel like I use so many different rugs that I've never even seen before in this apartment, so it's kind of fun to get to do that and like experiment a little bit. But I will acknowledge that it does take some adjustments. Like, your eyes kind of have to look at this for a bit to adjust to the brightness of the orange. But again, when else are we gonna have this opportunity? So I took it and I ran with it. One other kind of fun part about this is that I didn't really have to worry about budget with this house. I feel like normally when I'm doing apartments, I'm a little bit more concerned about the price of them. But with this one, because I've been playing in this family for a long time, the orange gen is Gen 6 of Not So Berry. And believe it or not, I've been playing in this save for 16 generations now, because I did like a 10 generation legacy and then I started Not So Berry. So we're on Gen 16 of this family. I've got plenty of money. Like, I don't have to worry about that even remotely. So I didn't really have to think about budget in this because I didn't have to worry about like building an exterior or anything. So I kind of just could do whatever. So that was pretty fun. The hard part though was just trying to figure out how to make this color scheme work. This is such a difficult aspect of all of the Not So Berry builds that I've done, because when your whole vision is like just orange, like what's the style of the building? I don't know, orange. It makes it kind of hard because there's so many different shades of orange in the game. Some are uglier than others. You want them to work together well, but you also have to kind of accept that it's The Sims 4 and they just won't match perfectly and they probably won't work together well. And then there's like no orange tile, so I couldn't figure out to use in the bathroom. I used a Parenthood tile in the kitchen, even though it had like some purpley blue accents. And I should probably address this now, because whenever I do these builds, I always build this on stream first. Like I built this live because I've been playing Not So Berry on my Twitch channel. And so many people are like, oh, Kayla, maybe you could consider adding in an accent color. Like, oh, it's really orange. Do you want to try to add in something else? No, the whole point, the entire point is orange. We can't add accent colors at a time like this. No, the whole thing is orange. That's the goal, and I really went for it. Honestly, you're lucky that we've got the tile. The tile having that blue is bold for me. The accent color is like the green and the plants, to be honest. Again, this is the thing. I just really like how silly these Not So Berry builds can be. It's kind of fun to just do a silly house sometimes and like use a tiger print rug or whatever. The other kind of interesting thing about this is that because each generation is a different color theme, usually when I'm making these houses, I make the whole house orange because we're playing with like the orange sim, but the orange sim's kids are a part of the pink generation. So when I build like the nursery for the babies, I'm gonna make that room pink. Speaking of pink though, I am so excited about the pink generation. This orange one, it's been rough, okay? I'm just gonna be honest. It's been hard for me to live in these orange homes. I've actually built 2 of them now, believe it or not. I'm posting this kind of late because I got distracted by growing together, but I've already built another house for this orange sim. I just haven't posted it on YouTube yet. But my God, I've had enough of the orange. It's been a lot. It really is a lot to look at. I am so excited to make a pink house. I feel like, I mean, pink's gonna be a lot easier though, you know, because we've got so many pink options. I've done a pink house. The orange one was definitely more of a out of my comfort zone kind of build. You can see we've made a lot of progress with the layout of the apartment though, so let me kind of talk you through what I've done here. We're obviously furnishing like the kitchen, living, dining area right now. It's all kind of just one open room. We have 1 bathroom by the front door, and then I managed to add in 3 bedrooms. We have the primary bedroom, obviously. We have the nursery for the babies. Oh, we have twins. Did I mention that? We have 2 babies. They can just share a room. And then that 3rd room, I wanted to make into like an office space, kind of art studio area almost. The Orange Sim's partner, this isn't like one of the rules, but my sim is a freelance artist, so I just wanted to like make her a room that, you know, she could use for her art and stuff. Primarily because there's a couple cute orange swatches from the Nifty Knitting pack, so I wanted to use them. Again, with this sort of place, with this sort of challenge almost, you kind of just want to use anything orange that you can find. So when I saw that orange craft table from Nifty Knitting, I was like, okay, well, we're making a craft room. It's happening. Originally, I was gonna put the cupcake machine in there, but I decided to put it on the balcony instead. I really wasn't kidding when I said I was using everything orange that I could find though. You can kind of see me decorating these shelves right now. I found some orange snow globes. I found some like random orange like knickknacks. I put those there. I kind of mentioned this, but really the beauty of this is that it kind of forces me to really explore, because I kind of get in the habit of using the same decor items over and over again. I find like clutter that I really like and I just keep using that all the time, but I don't really ever use orange clutter because why would I? So it's kind of fun to have a chance to do that here. There's even things like that door that I've put into the empty bedroom. There's a couple swatches of a door from high school years that have like some really fun like stickers and paint on the door, and I found one of them that's got orange on one side and pink on the other. So it's perfect for this because we've got like orange in the living space and then pink on the inside in the pink kids room. I think for the most part, I found the living room, the art room, and the patio to be the most fun to build, but the primary bedroom, the bathroom, and the nursery were such a nightmare. I'm gonna be honest, I think I cut out the nursery building because, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I built this apartment apartment before Infants came out. I think I built this like the day before Infants came out. And so I was kind of like, oh, we'll build it now and then I'll finish it once we have Infants and I'll put like the real crib and stuff in there. But when I was first building this on stream, we were like putting fake nursery items in there. I put like toddler beds where I wanted the cribs to go. I put a little dresser instead of a changing table because we didn't have one yet. So this was the last of the fake nurseries that I ever built. And then the bedroom that we're doing right now, I had a really hard time with this too because I wanted to make like a kind of fancy, kind of trendy orange bedroom. So I was trying to find a way to like make a custom headboard and like use some cool artwork and really decorate it nicely. But I struggled a lot with how I wanted to do it. I was also really struggling to figure out what kind of rugs I wanted to use because I was trying to find one that matched that like orange painting that I've got on the wall, and it was really hard to find. Oh, I just noticed that I'm using Nancy Landgrab as a tester sim. I forgot that I did that. I guess Nancy wears that orange skirt. She probably fits in pretty well in here. I completely forgot that I used her as a tester sim. I always have like random sims that I just throw into apartments to test them out with. Like I never build serious legacy challenge type homes in the actual legacy save. The first problem being that those saves that I have are really old. Like the one that we're building this for is 17 generations in. So I usually build it in a different save just to avoid lag and also to avoid like ruining anything in case I like change my mind and don't want to live here. It's just in a separate save. I don't have to worry about it being there and stuff. But then that gives me, you know, random test sims like Nancy Landgrab instead of the actual sims who are going to be living here. Anyway, I'm kind of trying to decorate this bedroom. You can see me trying to figure out what I want to put on the headboard. I really struggled because I was using those cabinets to make almost like a fake headboard. It's kind of cool. I've seen things like this before where it's like a big long headboard that has essentially built-in nightstands because it's long like that. I think in real life it'd probably be like a little bit skinnier and then have nightstands that are more sticking out of it, like next to the bed instead of just behind the bed, but you kind of can get what I'm going for with this. I just wasn't really sure how much clutter to put on top of it because I didn't really want to fill in the entire thing, so I was kind of struggling to find the right balance there and then also figure out what to use. I was going for a lot of plants because as we previously discussed, the only accent color in this entire place are plants. I mean, I guess I'm using a lot of like orange and red and yellow. Like the red and yellows are kind of tied in there too because there's sort of like some orangey reds and some orangey yellows, and so I use those. It's hard to avoid. You can't make anything that's like purely orange. There's gonna be some other variants of things in there, but obviously the main goal is orange. Aggressively orange. Well, while I'm just finishing up some details in that room, I've got a couple life updates for you. I like to take this opportunity in speed builds because like when else are we gonna chat? But at the time you are seeing this, I think I'm gonna post this on Sunday because, you know, speed build Sunday. I will have been to not one, but 2 Taylor Swift concerts in Tampa. I'm going on Thursday and Friday. I'm pre-recording right now because I want to make sure that I can really savor this moment. I've been such a huge fan of Taylor Swift for like literally my entire life, and I've never seen her in concert before, so I am extremely excited. I'm gonna have to post some updates on Instagram and stuff for you all, so you should follow me there because I guess by the time you're seeing this, it will have already happened. But to be honest, that's kind of all I can think about right now, so I felt like I had to mention it. I went to my parents' house for dinner last night, and my parents are coming to the concert too. It's very exciting. It's like a, you know, family trip. big day out to Tampa with literally everyone. And a lot of people that go to Taylor Swift concerts make bracelets, like friendship bracelets to trade at the concert. You might have seen this on social media. Maybe you wouldn't have. If you're not like obsessed and in deep like I am, maybe you wouldn't have, but take my word for it. A lot of people trade bracelets at the concerts. And so last night I brought like a bunch of beads to my parents' house and we had like my entire family making bracelets at the dinner table. It was so fun. It's really fun for me how like into it they are. Like it means a lot to me that they're also just as excited and like being as obsessive as I am about it. We have my mom like making Taylor Swift lyric bracelets. My dad just put his own name on his bracelets, which is good too. That's good too. But it was really fun and I'm really glad that we got to do that. But anyway, speaking of, you know, crafts and bracelets, I'm kind of starting to work on this little art room now. You can see me trying to put a few of the things up here. It was really fun. I feel like there's a lot of items that I never use that sort of fit this vibe. So in particular, those nifty knitting items. There's like a really cute pegboard almost that has some orange shelves. It's got a matching desk. Nifty Knitting has a lot of really great like crafty stuff, and I feel like I should make more of an effort to put it in my build because it's honestly so adorable. I also put an easel in here. We have the easel, we have a computer, we've got a woodworking table. I mean, I put all that stuff in this room. room. Although I should warn you, I think I kept those ghost wallpapers. I realize that it is a lot, okay? I know that when you look at those ghosts, it might seem like too much, but listen. When else would we have an opportunity for something like this? Oh my god, I deleted it. Oh no, I didn't use the ghost wallpaper. Oh, I'm devastated. Okay, well, I've been using that orange ghost wallpaper since my sim was a child. I had that orange ghost thing in their childhood bedroom. I thought I was gonna use it here, but apparently I didn't. Never mind. I do think that those ghosts kind of embody the entire intention I have with this Not So Berry build though. Because the whole philosophy of if not now, then when, I think the ghosts are the perfect example of that. If not now, when? When else can you use a ghost wallpaper? Actually, I've used that wallpaper a lot. It's from the spooky stuff pack. And in one of my YouTube series, I had ghosts in my household for like an exceptionally long time. I went to great lengths to try and bring 2 of my dead sims back to life. And so I had their ghosts in my household for a while, and in their bedroom, they had ghost wallpaper. But that's such a special circumstance. I mean, it was almost too on the nose, but they were ghosts and they had a ghost room. And that and now are the only 2 times where it ever makes sense. I feel like I'm saying all this just to like fend off the comments, because I know when I built this build on Twitch, my Twitch chat really did not like the ghost. It's sort of half and half. It's like half of chat is just as deep in this as I am, and the other half is like, oh my god, that's horrible. And honestly, you're both right. It's just fun though. So I'm kind of nervous about what the YouTube comments will say. What are your thoughts on the ghost wallpaper? Oh, and speaking of bad, we've now reached the worst part of the build. This is the fake nursery where I was trying to figure out what I would do if I had real nursery items. This, honestly, looking back on this, now that the infant update is out, it's almost pitiful. And I'm glad that I cut out the whole thing, because you guys don't need to see it. I mean, I was just doing the most ridiculous things. I took the toddler beds and I raised them up so I could pretend that they're like about the right height that the cribs would be at. It was a whole thing. And it was a mistake. I should have just waited until the infant update came out. While I'm doing some decorating in the kitchen though, I should point out a couple other highlights. Number 1, I have that chef poster. There's like this orange chef movie poster, and I figured that because the orange Gen Sim is a baker and the whole poster is just orange, I mean, nothing matches better. There's also a little container of oranges that came in the backyard stuff pack. I used that on the shelves in here. And a couple other not so pleasant highlights that we should probably address. Number 1, this apartment, like we mentioned, needs TLC. So that means that it's got like some quirks to it that make it not so good. So like by the front door, you can see the breaker box. That breaks often. It like starts sparking and stuff. In the bathroom, there's some pipes that start leaking. You might have seen the little rat holes underneath the windows. Here's the thing. I really wanted to furnish this apartment fully. Now, that means that I put some stuff in front of those items, even though I probably shouldn't have. Like, I wanted to put a high chair in here because knowing we had the infant update coming, I wanted to play with it, but I had nowhere to put it except for in front of that breaker box. And I think that that's okay. I just put it there, and then I figured if the thing breaks, I'll move the high chair and then put it back, you know? There's also curtains blocking the rats, but that's fine. They'll be okay. They can just, like scurry behind them. And the other thing is, I'm pretty sure this apartment gets a bunch of cockroaches. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything to say about that. I have no solution. Just that we'll deal with that when it happens. And listen, I gotta come clean about something. I've been talking about this whole apartment as though like, I'm gonna play in it, I'm gonna use it. I started playing in it for like 1 day and then immediately decided that I didn't want to anymore, and I built a new, bigger house. So there's nothing wrong with the apartment. It's not the build's fault. It's just that I have this dog in my Not So Berry challenge, and this dog is, at this current moment in time, the entire highlight of the save to me. This dog is the reason that I play The Sims right now. I'm gonna show it to you, but the dog was not having a good time in the apartment. The dog deserved to have a yard. And so while the Not So Berry challenge rules say you must live in this apartment for your entire young adult life, I wrote the rules. I wrote them. I can change them. If I had known when I was like 17 years old writing these dumb rules that I was gonna, get a dog that I love too much, maybe I would have not written that rule. But I did write that rule, and I wrote it so I can change it. it. But yeah, if you watch my Twitch streams, you've probably been a part of this whole thing. It's been a whole thing. But I made a new, bigger house, and I'll probably post a speed build of that soon too. Maybe I'll delay it a little bit. We don't want to post them too close together. There's only so many orange builds that you guys can probably take here on YouTube. I won't put you through that just yet, but I'll give you a little spoiler. It's got a bright orange pool. It's glowing. It looks like I filled the pool with like orange juice. It's amazing. But anyway, we're doing some last minute touches here on this little apartment. You can see I'm putting some fun accent colors and some last little decor pieces and stuff. It really is a lot, but I think that it's a lot in a fun way. And if you're curious about any of the other Not So Berry builds, I can put one at the end of the video here on the end card for you so that you can like go back and watch the purple one. Because dare I say, the purple one was a lot more fun. It was a lot less difficult to look at. It was easier on the eyes, if you know what I mean. But now that the apartment is pretty much complete, I want to pop back into the game and show you guys a quick tour of the finished product. Oh no, spoilers! This is the big house with the bright orange pool. I wanted to show you the apartment though. So we built this in San Myshuno. It's back here in this Culpeper Apartments in this lot, 19 Culpeper House. Why are the lights off? Okay, I need to get a sim here. Hold on. Okay, now we get the lights back on. That's better. Now we can actually see what's happening. So as you can see, the apartment is not very big. When you first walk in the front door here, I tried to add some cute decor. Kind of tried to make it look like people actually lived here. So we hung up, oh, I didn't notice that I had both of those there. Okay, well, there's aprons and bags, apparently. We have the kitchen right here. I love the clutter in this kitchen, like the cookie jars and these little decor pieces. I like this part a lot too, with the candle and the mugs and all the plates and stuff. Then we have a bookshelf also with the food bowl for the dog. This is kind of the little dining section. I love the table with this big poster here. And then through this door, we have the bathroom. And I had a lot of fun decorating this. I got to use some stuff that I never use. Like, I don't think I've ever used this swatch on this shower. It's not completely orange, but it had some orange accents. And I thought that it kind of worked okay with this tile, so I used that there. I got to really go all out with the counter clutter. We've got a toilet here. I covered these pipes with some more decor. Obviously, if these break and I have to complain to the landlord about them, then I'm gonna have to move this stuff, but I think for now it's like fine. This is the finished nursery. Oh, you can tell that I was actually living here because there's like random books on the floor. This is the finished nursery though. We've got the 2 cribs for the kids, changing table, some toys and stuff. And I wanted to make sure we had plenty of floor space because one thing I've noticed about infants is if you don't have enough floor space, they'll like take them outside and put them on the floor outside. And that's not ideal, especially when you live in a tall building like this. I don't really want the kids out here, so there's space in here for them. Over here is the living room. I put like some kids play mats and we have some dog toys around. Again, you can tell that I've been living here because the stuff got messed up. But we have this cute little living area. We have a big TV. This door here takes you into my favorite room, the art room. I really, really like this corner with these decor pieces, and I love this desk as well. This is kind of a good example of like the oranges clashing a little bit because this is almost like a more warm toned orange, I guess, but it works. It fits in here. It's just hard because we have like so many shades of orange in the whole apartment, and I used this dumb wallpaper instead of the ghosts, so I'm sorry, but I do think this probably matches the tables better than the ghost wallpaper did. And then through here, this is the last bedroom. It's the primary bedroom. We have that kind of fancy headboard I was talking about. I used this rug from Seasons. This is one of the rugs that I've literally never seen before. I've obviously seen the rug, but I didn't know that it had that swatch. It's just a long skinny rug. I've used this swatch before, and I did the same thing in my last house where I took this purple one and I tiled it for the purple gen. But I noticed that the rug looks kind of cool with 3 of them in a row, and it kind of fits with this orange gen here. It at the very least matches this painting pretty well. It's kind of red and yellow, I'll admit that, but I did my best. And then through this room, we can come out to the balcony. On the balcony, I put the cupcake machine. That was the main priority. We also have like some seating and stuff. And I love how these lights look hung up there. I think that's just perfect. You can kind of tell that I moved these windows around. It's weird, in apartments, you can't move these exterior windows, but because I own like all the way out to here, I could even build a wall here. I can change this part. I can change this one section of the wall, but I can't change the rest of it. So I can move these windows around, and they're different than they are downstairs. Like, it doesn't match all of these anymore, but I think that's okay. I'd rather have it look good for me than have it look good, you know, for them. Also, one last thing to note, I actually sized down this cupcake machine. If you thought it was big, it's normally this big, and I did test it. It still works sized down. The only thing is that when they're using it, the animations are kind of weird because they aren't like touching the levers anymore because it's smaller. And they also put stuff down on this ledge right here, but when it's sized down, the ledge is a lot lower, so it makes the stuff look like it's floating. But it's more just like a visual problem. It doesn't actually affect how it works, and I wanted to have it, so I put it there anyway. And that, my friends, is our entire Orange Gen Not So Berry apartment. I know it's a very silly build, but hopefully you liked it. It's really tough to make something all orange and have it still look okay. If you want to watch that purple house that I built, I'll link it here on the end card for you. And before you go, make sure you check out that link down below to download Project Makeover. I've got it in the description box and in a pinned comment. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Project Makeover for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate it. And on that note, I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. The purple one it really is a lot more pleasant on the eyes, okay? The orange is rough, the purple is nice. Oh, I'm wearing an orange shirt and purple nail polish. It's like I planned it.